Welcome to Sound of Hope News. I'm your host, Wei Fang.
I'm Kathy Zhang.
Yes, San Francisco Chinese-American journalist.
Welcome back.
Yeah, thank you. So today we want to review you something that, the top leaders of China, or the CCP top leader, what they have in their mind. Okay, how do we know what's in their mind? Well, today we know because of some reason. Stay with us and we'll let you know. And this is actually quite accidental. But now this accidental leakage of the information has become known by more and more people in the last few days.
It relates to how they try to control America, right?
Yeah, how they deal with what's in their mind, in their brain to deal with America, including what happened during the last election. Okay, what's in their mind? That's what we'll be reviewing to you today. Before that, let's talk about how about we have a few quick news for Kathy to update you.
Yeah. So for today, there are quite a few important news that I would like to share with you. First of all, about the border crisis. So Senator Cruz and Cornyn led a Senate delegation today. They did a boat tour along the U.S.-Mexico border, and a total 18 senators in the delegation. So, what they found. I saw part of the press conference after their tour, including that they just saw a dead body in the river, all right?
Wow.
And they saw where they hold those unaccompanied minors. And the place, normally it will hold around 2,000 to 3,000 people, but because of the COVID, code, right? They can supposedly only hold 250 people, but you know how many minors were there? Over 4,000. Okay, so that's why probably, one of the senators said that's probably why the Biden administration doesn't want the media to see as of now. And we also remember that from yesterday, President Joe Biden had his first formal press conference by himself. And it's after 64 days in the office. So regarding the reality of the illegal immigrations flooded the nation's southern border, what did he say? So in the press conference, he said, "Truth of the matter is nothing has changed. As many people came, 28% increase in children to the border in my administration, but 31% in the last year in 2019, before the pandemic, in the Trump administration." And he said it happens every single solitary year. So according to him, it's just normal, right? Nothing getting worse. However, the Associated Press actually published a fact check sheet that the president's data was off. According to AP, unaccompanied immigrant children have come to the border in higher numbers than what he said. According to the statistics published by the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, authorities encountered 9,457 children without a parent in February, a 61% increase from January. It's not 28%. And former President Donald Trump may soon pay U.S.-Mexico border a visit. That was said by his senior advisor, Jason Miller, yesterday. He said because President Trump is very concerned about the situation. All right. So the next piece of news is White House press secretary today confirmed that Joe Biden will sign executive order to increase gun control. A lot of people, was suspecting, and Biden was very forcefully talking about increase the gun control laws after the Colorado shooting. And on the other hand, the U.S. Court of Appeal for the Sixth Circuit ruled yesterday on the March 25th that the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives cannot classify bomb stocks as machine guns. This and also the court indicated that the federal ban on bomb stocks, which are devices that can increase the rate of fire for semi-automatic weapons, is likely unlawful and should be placed on hold. And because this ban was implemented following the 2017 Las Vegas mass shooting. All right, and the next piece of news is former President Donald Trump spoke at a fundraiser. He's been busy, okay? He spoke at a fundraiser at his golf club in West Palm Beach, Florida on Wednesday. What's this fundraiser about? It was for former Trump White House official Max Miller, who is running for the House of Representatives seat, which which actually he will be challenging Representative Anthony Gonzalez, who's a Republican, but he actually was one of the 10 House of Representatives Republicans who voted to impeach Trump. And during the fundraiser, Trump also sat with 4 potential candidates for the U.S. Senate seat being vacated by Senator Portman, also from Ohio. So he announced that he won't running for re-election. So it seems that from the article that I saw, it sounds like these 4 potential candidates are doing an interview with Trump. They all expressed how they support Trump, how they try to run on Trump's agenda, and possibly, at least, they are all probably would want Trump's endorsement, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so shall we move to the topic of today? Okay, the main topic today is, before I start talking, let me share with you, just review a little bit what we shared with you back then about 2 to 3 months ago. Kathy shared with you a video, a video speech by a scholar. His name is called Di Dongsheng, right?
Right, we have a picture of him.
Yeah, do we have that? Can we show that? So this guy, in a situation where, in a kind of like, of course, Chinese language only situation, he was speaking to the CCP affiliated audience, okay? So he feel pretty safe, and he really likes to show off, okay? So he's very smart. Smart guy, understand America, and he's one of the advisors to the CCP, a top leader. So over there, he talk about how we/CCP, how CCP were able to manipulate the White House through the Wall Street. All right, they have good friends in Wall Street who are very influential, and through them they have been able to get a handle on the White House over the last few decades. But that was disrupted by President Trump, who really did not listen to Wall Street. So they were at a loss. Okay, then he talked about how they manipulate Hunter Biden and threw him to Biden, and he just he hinted now it is the opportunity. Okay, so
he actually hinted now we are in control again.
After playing this video, and Kathy got this piece of video from Jennifer Zhang, or both of you did dig that out?
From other sources.
And then Jennifer Zhang is another investigative reporter, just like Kathy, and she received death threat, okay, in her the commentary, saying that watch out, you could die very soon. And how did she respond to that? She came to our program, she just spoke it out. And again, that's how to deal with this type of threat. But anyway, that reveals how telling, or say how illustrating, how relevant, and that video was. So today, what I want to share with you is something even more than that. Okay, this particular speech is given by a CCP scholar. His name is Professor Jin. Okay, Professor Jin Canrong. Professor Jin Canrong. Let me call him just Jin. Okay, he's the deputy dean of the School of International Study of the Renmin University of China. Renmin means people. People's University of China. Okay, the top Chinese political, how to say, university. All right, he's widely regarded as a CCP top strategist, and also he's a national senior advisor to the CCP and to Xi Jinping, the General Secretary. Okay, and this speech is not new. It's not news. It's not even news. But the news it was just dug out in the last few days. The speech he gave was done in July 2016. Okay, in Guangzhou, in the southern city of China, again to I don't know what's the audience, maybe another very enclosed scenario where he talked about thoroughly what CCP did in the South China Sea, how they deal with Taiwan, and how they deal with America, which is the main topic of today. So first, I don't have all the time to review to you everything, but I just pick a few key points to share that with you, okay? So first, he said, what's the goal? What's the ultimate goal of the CCP? What's the ultimate goal? He said, we have four phases. The first phase is we need to survive. This is after 1949, facing all the siege from all over the world, from the free world. We got a survival issue. So first, survive. The second is growth. This is what happened in the 1980 when the Deng Xiaoping's time. Okay, Deng Xiaoping went to United States, went to Texas, put on his cowboy hat, and just appear as a very friendly and naive and harmless old man. Americans love him right away. Okay, he wanted to do that to earn the chance to grow. Okay, the third phase is Xi Jinping's time is now. It's called a dignity. We need to earn the respect of the other developed nation. Nothing's wrong so far, guys. The fourth one is become the boss of the world. The fourth one, become the boss of the world. He said we need to, this is what he said, the title says we need to put the U.S. under our jurisdiction. Put the U.S. under our jurisdiction. This would happen before 2050, 2049, which is the 100 years anniversary of the People's Republic of China. Okay, so how do they do it? And he used an analogy. It's just like in a typical state-owned so-called work unit. Okay, in this work unit, in this company, you got this number one guy, the boss, right? And he's very capable. He's very handsome. He's not at a retirement age, and he's middle age. He's talking about America, all right? He's handsome, capable, and people love him. People generally love him. And but we just promoted to be the number two recently, okay? So we want to squeeze U.S. out, but we dare not to hit him or touch him. So what do? So we have three ways, okay? First, create opportunities so that it wouldn't make mistake. The number one, supervisor and the work unit make mistake. So one of them is through this bribery. Okay, buy them out. When they got caught, they're gonna fault the politicians. The first, create conditions so that it wouldn't make mistake. The second,
basically corrupt them.
Corrupt them, yes. The second, create so much trouble around the world so that it will make it extremely busy to the point of finally it got depressed and it gave up the leadership role. Okay, so specific, what does it mean? Just hear me out. And now I want to know that how you think about that, their strategy. Okay, this is CCP's top secret strategy.
Yeah, I think that would include how they manipulated North Korea and Iran, and how they are the CCP is all behind that, right? Just make waves of troubles.
Yeah, just let me explain to you. He said U.S. is a very powerful democratic nation. All right, and the democratic nation have a weakness. If it has two issues, if it's one issue, they would unite. They will unite together. It's very easy to pull everybody together to counter that threat. But if they have two threats, which one is the bigger one? they would argue among themselves. If there are 3-1, they will be really, really chaotic. If there are 4 major troubles, he said they will be lost. They will be at a loss. Okay, so our strategy is to create enough trouble, create at least 4 trouble areas for U.S. So that it will be run from fire to fire. When they run out of breath and then run out of, resource and then run out of strength, they're gonna say, give up, throw up the hand, forget about it. I don't want to do this anymore. Let me go back to my home. So that way, they just, the U.S. would vacate, just give this top position to CCP for it to lead. This is the second approach, strategy. So who are those trouble areas? North Korea is one for sure, and Russia is one, and the third one, actually, believe it or not, is Brazil. This is 2016. Okay, the Conservative Party has not, got elected, so they probably were calculating, but they said it's hard. It's hard to turn Brazil into an enemy of the U.S. become a trouble field, but they are making effort. They are making effort. Basically, they are through diplomatic way, through spending money, investment. They try to turn Brazil into an adversary to the United States. The third one, get into U.S., invite them to China. Just make us so tightly coupled, so that they cannot hit on you. They just cannot treat China as enemy because I'm in you and you are in me. Okay, this is the third approach. So for that reason, Chinese government have this negotiated this treaty. It's called a bilateral investment treaty, which give the investors great opportunity to invest in the other nation. In the other side.
Yeah, and that's why you can see right now, actually, just from today's news, there's one piece of news is that the CCP actually invited United States and the Russia leader to join the discussion of how to combat the climate change, right? They trying to, they knew that, this administration just really emphasized on the combating the climate change. So they utilize that. And then they try to say, okay, we wanted to cooperate with you, we can work with you, and then it just fall into this strategy.
Yeah, so they were successful in convincing the Obama administration to open up our stock market to the Chinese company who do not needs to be audited, okay, by the U.S. Accounting firms. They just claim their books are clean. And or the Chinese accounting companies say they're clean, then they're clean. Okay, they do not have to go through our auditing. Okay, think about that. New York Stock Exchange and Nasdaq, they were very strict. Okay, they discipline every company who goes public there, but they don't discipline Chinese company. This is the accomplishment of the CCP, along with the help from the Obama administration. Okay, and then they also invite, right? They invite U.S. mutual funds to invest in China, including the government employees fund. They invite all kinds of funds. They put China's company into all kinds of index so that American money, okay, the common people's money will go to China. So they want to wire their interest into U.S. and wire U.S. interest into China, so that the U.S. could never say, I'm facing an enemy, I need to take action. Okay, this is the third strategy. Okay, and then in terms of the technology theft, this is their original word. Okay, just hear me out. He said, in the last 30 years, Germany has given us the biggest help with our technology import. Germany's help accounts for 46% of the imported technology. The Yankees have the best technology in the world. The world's most cutting-edge technology in the last 30 years were all invented by the Americans. But they just don't sell them to us. If you don't sell to us, we won't be polite. So hear me out. In the past, there was no internet, so we had nothing to do. Now, since there's such a thing, which is called internet, we, of course, will make good use of it. Okay, so in other words, because of this interconnected network, that hackers can break in virtually anywhere and just take the technology away. They've been doing that in the last 20 years, and they've been doing that nonstop. And no matter how much warning the previous administration give to them, they just shrug it off, or they just sign something and then turn around and forget about it. That has been how they've been playing the ball. Of course, until Trump, seriously talking about decoupling, that give them some curbing, but that has apparently stopped. So and then they got a fighter jet, the new generation. It's called J-20, and they got a big intercontinental missile, which is called East Wind 41. I'm sorry. They all have Chinese name. The technology came from U.S. They just stole it from the internet. Okay, that's the other thing. So this advisor to Xi Jinping just simply said this. Let me read it again. He cannot be too explicit, right? Because that was a semi-public scenario, public scene. And he said that now, since there's such a thing called the internet, we of course will make good use of it. Okay. And then in terms of the South China Sea, as you know that the CCP is building island, right? Feeling the land, create an island, and out of those under the water type of what is the word? 礁石, can you just search for that? Yeah, under the water reef. And then, so of course, when U.S. found it out, U.S. just raised the issue. You cannot do this. This is international water. Okay, let me tell you what he said. He said, we waited until U.S. had to go hit on Syria. When U.S. got deeply involved in Ukraine, when that kind of crisis happened, we speed up our filling the land for the island. All right? Mm-hmm. And then until we make it so big, and then last June, and the U.S. raised this seriously, saying that you are building such a big island. So we just reported to the U.S. right away. Hi, boss, we'll stop doing that. Hi, boss, we'll stop doing that. So, okay, and the U.S. was very happy. They think, oh, okay, my word counts. He said the truth of the matter is, at the end of the June, in next month, the typhoon will be coming. The typhoon is the big wind, the summer wind, summer storm is coming. So we got 200 boats there, and 200 ships there, okay? And then it's kind of dangerous, so we have to vacate out. And the first reason. The second reason is, the way that we feed in the land is a groundbreaking technology, okay? That technology needs some, time to, take effect. And so we need to vacate from that job for a while. So that's why we back out. But we took that as a opportunity to tell the U.S. Obama administration, okay, I follow your word. We won't build it anymore. So Obama was happy, but after a few months, we went back and rebuilt again. So just through this kind of way, we've been building 7 islands in the South China Sea. And some of them is like aircraft, it's just several times of aircraft carrier, the size, yeah. And then the next one, hear me out. How to control U.S. And let me just read it to you, okay? He said, we Chinese government, we wish to have Chinese investment in every district of the congressional representative. Through controlling 1,000 or a few thousand votes, we're able to influence the congressional representative's attitude. As a matter of fact, every congressional representative is controllable because there are 312 million people, 435 congressional representatives, Congress members. Every district, there is just about 750,000 people, voters. And the percentage of the voters is only 30%. In another word, 200,000 voters would decide who's the next congressional member for that district. Generally, the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, they're just quite close rival, okay? They were just very close. So ended up among these 200,000 voters, and then when they are just each split at 47, 48%, and finally it's about just 10,000 votes or a few thousand or even just 1,000 votes that decide on who's the next congressional member. And if we have a few thousand votes, we shall be his boss.
Yeah, and actually that relates to what's going on right now. According to our investigative reporter Jennifer Zhang, and the CCP actually is right now doing exactly something like that. They're seeking to control U.S. Through cultivating its own agents. And what the strategy they are adopting is to seize power through the parliament, which is our Congress. And right now they are really in full swing to support the New York mayor candidate Andrew Yang. Yeah, and she gives a lot of evidence, including how they use the CCP's agent in New York. It is a American Chinese Commerce Association to provide the fundings and just to insert their influence there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then okay, so this Professor Jin said, if we do it well, we can literally buy the entire U.S. with just a little money, because we just tip the balance. We can turn the U.S. Congress into the People's Conference. This is China's People's Conference. Okay, their rubber stamp conference. They could turn that into the second People's Conference in the U.S. That way, we can jump out of this rivalry with the U.S. We can just win them over. So, yeah, that's basically the strategy that he reviewed. There's a lot of other. He spoke for almost 3 hours, 2 hours or 3 hours, close to 3 hours. So, yeah, it's just very, how to say?
Yeah, actually, I did some research showing that how this Jin, Professor Jin, really became so popular in China, right?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, we talked about double wing is win, China win twice.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it was him invented that.
Oh.
Yeah, we have the picture how when he said that actually in 2018. Okay. So double the win-win is actually China win twice. Yeah, that's the translation. And so after that, he really became just so popular, and because he's always been boasting how China is just gonna become the superpower. However, actually, what I would like to share is during the Trump administration. In January 2020, right? Mm-hmm. Remember the first agreement of the trade, the first trade agreement was signed, and at that time, there are some comments in China. Actually, some other China scholar was criticizing this Jin, saying whatever he said before went all wrong, because he initially at the beginning of this trade war, he was just boasting that he's been using different strategies and resources to first he already. Bought Trump's daughter Ivanka. Okay, he boasted that, and then Trump is just within his hands, right?
I mean, buy her out.
Buy her out, and he already can just manipulate Trump.
Okay.
And then when the first phase of trade agreement signed, he was embarrassed. Then what he said, he what's his how can he explain that? He said, it's just because actually in the United States, people misread Trump. So that's not my problem.
Don't blame me. Everybody read him wrong.
Right, and then in the later, in the spring or in the summer of 2019, he once again pretended to be so. Profit, right? He can do profits.
Yeah.
And he optimistically concluded that Trump will be softened by November. Okay. And he said it's very simple because Americans cannot do without made in China. And as long as the tariff are raised, then the burden on the American families will be increased, and because American system, democratic system, and as long as people take to the street, the government will have to bow its head.
Yeah.
Okay,
Dream
and
about it.
yield.
Yeah.
But it turned out, totally different, right, under Trump administration. So why I want to share this is really what kind of strategy United States need to have. Because I saw because it sounds like, wow, this Jin really illustrate how they manipulate, how they try to control United States, right? But actually, during Trump administration, his strategy already proven wrong.
Yeah, everything's wrong.
Yeah.
And because of Trump. Let me just share with you my conclusion, because it's 30th. It's the 30 minute. So Trump often told this story about the farmer, the peasant, and
The snake.
And the snake, right? As you remember, the farmer found a snake in the snow field, in the snow, and frozen to death, nearly frozen to death. And he picked up that snake and just warm it up, and then when the snake revived, and it just bit the farmer to death. And the farmer was really, really sad before he died. He said, I saved your life. How could you do this to me? And the snake said, when you picked me up, you should have known I'm a snake. Same thing. Well, I think when Trump was telling that story, he was addressing the ultra leftist, okay, in this country that try to sabotage the freedom. This thing applies squarely with the Chinese Communist Party, the CCP. They had same root and same gene and the same thing, right? And America always imagined that by treating China well, China will treat us well, or treating CCP well, CCP will treat it well. No, CCP is a poison snake. It cannot change its nature. It will bite when it's strong enough, when it's fully revived. So every single person, every politician, every American should be keenly aware of that. CCP is evil. It won't change its nature. The only way to deal with it is to terminate it. Only at that time, U.S. will be safe.
Yeah, and we need to be really hold up our values. And I saw Doug Watson say, I believe the Jin is greatly underestimated the patriots of America and their ability to adapt to any situation. That's very well said. And Matthew Launer said, if they think we will give up, they don't understand Americans. Yes, exactly. But we really need to, understand them and really hold on to our values and really just don't work with them. Really.
Yeah. And then this guy, the reason why he revealed all the truth, the thinking in the head of the CCP leaders, because he thinks it's a Chinese language. Okay, nobody took note. He's just in just semi, enclosed situation. And he talked, and it's on the web, and people dug it out, and then people got to know that. So the reason why I mentioned this leads to today's joke. Are you ready for that?
Yeah. So.
Okay, I decide not to tell communist joke every single day. Because it may depress you, right? You laugh and then you cry, or you cry and then you laugh, right? How about we just have some pure laugh?
Okay.
So talking about Wei, right? Wei as a Chinese. Now it's Chinese American. When I first came to the United States, I don't know the language well enough. So I went to Iowa and ran into, there's dog running towards me. I was really afraid, as you say.
Because in China, dog is really...
Yeah, the relationship between the dog and the human are very tense, hostile even. Yeah, except to his host, the dog's host. Anyway, the dog, so the dog just looked at me and it started barking. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, so what do I do?
Yeah.
I don't know English. I don't know how to deal with an American dog. I'm just fresh out of the boat. So, but I understand a little bit.
Yeah, but also I think you told me that when you first came, just found the Americans are really friendly, right?
Yeah, so he came to me, the dog saying, wong, wong, wong. So I feel obligated to answer that.
Okay.
So I just say, two, two, two.
Oh, because the dog said you thought he was saying one?
Yeah, and the dog ran away, and my conclusion is the dog is a little ashamed of himself because he doesn't know how to bark. Three, three, three. Okay. Now the next one. Again, it has to do with language. Language is so important. You guys were born here. You never appreciate the importance of the language. Okay, I have to tell you this lesson. This is my very important lesson, most important lesson in my life. All right. There's a mother cat. I'm sorry, a mother mouse. A mother mouse came out of her hole and start to have a walk around the room.
Okay.
Yeah, the community. This is after dinner,
Okay.
right? So following her are 7 little mice,
Okay.
right? So just follow the mother. Mother was walking. Each of them just following the mother and all very behaving. And suddenly, a big cat jumped in the front.
Uh-oh.
Bang! And they look at the mice, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what the mother mouse did?
Yeah, what did she do?
She did not panic at all,
Okay.
right? She looked right into the eyes of the cat, and even walked towards it. And then suddenly, she started shouting, "Woo!" The cat was startled, right? The cat was, huh? He never saw a mouse can bark, right?
Right.
So the cat was startled and then just jumped away and ran away. Okay, the mother mouse now group her little kids and sitting together, all behave, put your hand in the back of your, behind your body. This is in China, in the elementary school, people all, kids sit that way. Everybody sitting there, okay, sitting straight. Let me tell you a lifetime story. Listen, you see what I did? Now you understand the importance of learning a foreign language. Would that work, guys?
All right. So I think this may just trigger some of our friends say, well, I remember once that maybe you can teach us a Chinese word every time.
Ah, okay.
Right?
What shall we do?
But we are not ready yet.
Yeah, because I don't want to teach you, how to say a wasteful thing.
Right.
We need to think about it.
Yeah, we have
Teach
to
you
think
only
about
the
it.
thing you can make the best use of it. How about that? Let's reserve to the next show. All right, that'll be it. Thank you very much. Hope you
Thank
like our
you.
jokes and
Yeah.
make you feel a little light-spirited. And until next time.
All right. Have a great weekend.
Yes.
Take care and see you
Take
next
care,
Monday.
guys. See you. Oh, by the way, install SafeChat. Okay, install SafeChat. I'll be there. We'll be there much more. We need a platform of our own, really, to speak freely. Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
SafeChat.
I know some of our friends are already watching on SafeChat.
Yeah.
But so please, if you have not.
All right, take
installed.
care. And also click the likes if you still can before you go. And thank you so very much. Until next time.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.